Hello, Dania. Welcome. Hello, Spirit. Welcome. Everyone was were worried, like my international fans were worried about my dad. They were like, "How is your dad?" Yes. I mean, he will recover. He will get over it. He's 81 years old, so I'm sure he had seen many, World Cups and finals, and yes, a lot of soccer. So um, it is the same effect as when you're a fan of something. For example, I love movies, and I love if I'm a fan of a series, for example, like Game of Thrones. When the season ended, or when you feel a bit sad, and you're like, there will never be another series like that one, and I will never be so invested, and and then you get over it. Yes, exactly. Yes. And I did watch the match. It was so lame in standards of what I usually watch. I'm not an expert on soccer, but I grew up watching soccer. Like on Sundays, there will always be like a local team playing on TV, and it's like a huge thing for Sunday after lunch, or when you are even together with family. There's always like a soccer game or a soccer match on the screen on the TV. And even if you don't support neither groups, it's like a background. It's like part of our lives. So I kind of know a bit about certain things, certain elements of a soccer, whether a soccer match, if it's good, and if it's a bit stuck, like. And I'm not very patient. This is why I don't watch them, because I get, especially if my favorite group, like team, is playing and they are losing, I'm very competitive. So I get very like angry, and I'm like, I'm shouting at the TV, and definitely I'm not the one playing, like running around behind a ball for like 2 hours, poor guys. I feel so 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 sorry for them, because it's very challenging physically. It's like it's not the same, like there's other, like there's, for example, American football. I don't know much about that. They do run, but it's not the same. They more like launch the ball. I used to play handball when I was at school. When I was in elementary school, we had handball, so it was more like using our hands, and trying to score a goal with our hands. But yes, it's all about position. You have to remain in your position, and you do have to be running around, but and defend. But it's not the same as soccer. Soccer, your legs has to be, because you cannot use your hands, so it's your legs all the time. I can't wait for cancer season to be over. Same, Dania, same. Like I had, it's so interesting, because I'm on my TMA. I'm on my special days. I'm on my period. But I had been feeling, very emotional ever since cancer season started. Like I had been feeling very, like just worrying for the smallest things and feeling very overprotective of, I don't know, my family, my house, um, and I feel it like it's emotional. It's not so much like, well, we have to come up with a plan, with a system, and we're going to do this and that. No, it's more like I feel like a mother, like I'm sensitive, like I'm sensitive for everyone. Like I feel so sad that I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but I feel so uh, protective. I also was, I was talking about, the other day. I because it was, Friendship Day. It was we celebrate Friendship Day or Friends Day here in Argentina, and usually it's July the 20th, and it was on Monday. So I went to see my friends. We chat and everything. And then I got together, with some people that they're more like they are more on the theater kind of a scene. They're more like theater kids or actors, my age, of course, but they do have a background in, performing arts and all of those things. But they do have, their YouTube channel that is, they're from Argentina, of course, in Spanish, everything. Um, and we were talking about, being online, creating content, and there's always in my case, they always ask, like, why is it in English if you don't, if your native language is, you speak Spanish and you are from here, like, why your channel is in English? Like, not judging, just very curious about it, like, why. And and I think that for me is a choice. Definitely it's a personal choice. It's something that I didn't think that long. I was like, it's going to be in English. And I think I feel very protective of what I had chosen, to read tarot cards in English, and to have a very wide, community of a lot of people, a lot of, costumes, a lot of cultures, different time zones, and all the clients that I have that are from different parts of the world. And for me, it's like I wouldn't have it other way. And this is not that I don't want to, speak in my language, or that I'm embarrassed that I'm from Latin America. No, nothing at all. It's not about that. It's just that it's like a soul level kind of decision. My soul made this decision. My soul was like, you're going to use your broken English and you're going to connect with people that they are not from Argentina. They're from other parts, and they're going to find you. You don't have to force anything. The right people is going to find your channel, and they're going to understand you. Even if your English is broken, their English is also not perfect. We're going to connect. So, and I feel it like this, like, and when I say it that loud, especially talking with my friends, in Spanish, it sounds a bit like how can I say this? It sounds like a bit like cocky, like, no, I think that I'm worldwide, or I think that my content is meant to be listened by a lot of people, like, from different countries and different cultures. So it seems like, like, what are you saying? Like, are you saying that if you do it in Spanish, it's not good enough? Like, we are not a good enough audience for you? And no, it's not about that. It's about my personal uh, journey, I guess. It's a decision. It's a decision. Just like, some people do content about another niche or another talent of theirs, and they have their format. I do have mine. And and you have to be very secure about, okay, what are you going to create and what is it going to be about, and you also have to eliminate the what is it not going to be about. So it's like at some point you have to leave certain options out, because you cannot be like too expansive, like, oh well, it's going to be some days I'm going to speak in Spanish and some days I'm going to speak in English, and then maybe if I learn another language I will also speak that language. you know mm. Wait, that I'm reading, guys. uh I find it so difficult to end cycles. Why is that? You said you have an important question and need advice. Okay. I find it so difficult to end cycles. Why is that? Mm, mm. I've been feeling so resentful more than usual. Hold grudges for longer than a cat. Also, I had been feeling sensitive also. Like, yeah, about the grudges or holding grudges, I feel the same. Very emotional. It feels irrational. Like it comes from within, and you're like, I don't understand why this bothers me, but it bothers me. Um, And in cycles, it's difficult because it's not just walking away; it's fighting the way your brain and life are built. If you look yourself closely, you see your cycles represent what your inner voice tells you. So to break cycles, you basically have to break yourself. Exactly. How can I deal with it? I just find it really hard to stay in positive energy. Um, do you want me to pull cards for that, Spirit? Are you okay with me doing this online? Let's open up. Now that we are about to enter Leo season, get ready to expose yourself. Get ready to be public about certain things. Don't be shy. I'm so excited. Next Sunday, I'm going to do a live stream for the Leo idols slash artist. I'm so excited for them because they're amazing. So I'm already feeling the energy. It's good to read for Leo people. Are you here? Are you here, Spirit? Someone entered the office and changed the page as if as what I was watching something bad, and it's just that I feel like I'm looking sus if I'm not on rooms on something, even if I don't have her banners. Oh wow. Yes, some guidance would be nice. And my parents making pressure on me for marriage. I convinced them with so much difficulty to give me just this year to be myself. A lot of trust breaking recently in my life. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to pull three cards for you. Your question the important question is that you say that you find it difficult to break circles, a circle, and how can you deal with that? And cycles. You put an end to cycles. Okay. I'm going to do one card for where this comes from, where you are now, and the possibilities. Let's see. For spirit. Mm-mm-mm. Hmm. Very, very telling. Actually, the cards are very honest with you, very like straight to the core. Where it comes from, we have the Three of Swords. So definitely, it comes from a very deep wound inside of you. You know, something happened, or whatever, something traumatic or something really affects you to the core. To uh, very a very deep sadness. Sorrow. It could be. I think that this is where it comes from. It comes from feeling disappointed, maybe in yourself, maybe in others. But yeah, it comes from pain. You are not able to break free because you're probably like going around, a past heartache or something that really disappointed you and hurt you. So it feels like it's not that you're torturing yourself, but it feels like it's safer to go around, what hurt you back then, and somehow like playing it over and over and over. And it's really hard for you to get out of there because it's painful. And even though you probably say like, okay, I'm aware of, the things that happened to me, or the sad things that happened to me, or when this hurt me, I'm aware, I know this. Yeah, but somehow, is what's keeping you stuck. You there's a bit of like, if I do something different, I will have the same outcome. I will get hurt again. I will get hurt again. And I think that it has to do definitely with the five. This is the present, the Five of Pentacles. It has to do with you feeling not good enough. You feeling like an outsider in your life. You probably feeling judged, or you feeling like you don't have the abilities that other people have. Maybe you think of yourself like that, like, oh, look at how other people are moving on, and I'm stuck in the same. um and I think that the five of Pentacles definitely talks about, like low self-esteem. Is like you are in this, you feel sorry for yourself. It's like, wow, I don't know how to stop this. I guess I'm a failure, like everyone says, or everyone or someone has implanted that idea in you, and you are like, well, I guess they're right. So it seems like you always feel like an outsider of your life, instead of like you are an spectator of your life. You're not living it. You're not the protagonist. You're like, oh well, this that happened to me. Yeah. And it's like you are not, you cannot, because you feel like left out of your life, like you are outside your life, like your life is happening but it's not happening to you. And I think that this is why maybe you refuse to make important decisions, because you're like, no, if I move, I will be a failure, and that will confirm what everyone says of me, that I'm a failure. And it's yeah, it's about you feeling very down in energy at the moment. You're not feeling satisfied with yourself. You're not, liking maybe who you are or where you are. So it's better to go to the pain that is unknown, or to be a bit cynic even about life. Like, well, this happens to me or to people like me. Whatever that means. That, oh, this happens to people like me. It's very familiar for me. This has been part of your life for a while. I think that this is not just now. This is not, maybe it's from childhood, could it be? But um I see it like, yeah, like you feel like you don't have the resources, to do better. It's like, well, others can do it but I cannot, because I don't feel like I'm good enough. In the future, we have the Six of Wands. That is a very victorious way out. Definitely, if you see the Six of Wands is someone that is carrying the victory of, coming back from the war. And also like expose yourself, celebrate yourself, overcome this. You're going, if you try to work with what you have, instead of being like, oh no, I don't have that. I don't have that in me. Or I don't know how to do that. Yes, you do. I think that there's something just very interesting in your energy that is like, I feel it like this. Like, you know what to do. You know it. This is why we have the Six of Wands in the future. Because it's like, as soon as she opens the door, she's going to be able to get out of this. And she's going to be super proud of herself. It's just that it's more comfortable to be in this energy of like, well, I don't have enough, I don't know, I will not make it, and probably could it be that there's other people around you that they feel the same? So it's like, I feel like it's not just you, it could be your environment as well. That is more about talking about sad things or trauma bounding or something like that, that actually being like, something good is happening to me, or I have good news, or I'm happy today, and people being like, no, we don't do that here. Because the Six of Wands is like, as just as she experienced this sadness and these very low times, that is not that you're making it up, it actually has happened to you, but it's like you have the possibility to overcome this and more. You do have it. You do have it. You just have to believe it. You have to go do, because also the Six of Wands is about doing. This is not about like, oh well, I will come up with a plan, I will write down my feelings, my thoughts on a journal. No, you have to go out. You have to go out, move your body, do the thing that maybe is scary for you to do. But I think that you're afraid to be successful. You're afraid to make it. You're afraid of being successful. You're like, what if I got it right and I become important and I'm celebrated? That scares me also. The exposure, just like we were talking about Leo season. Mm. It's just that you are positive. You are positive. Maybe it's your environment that feels like, when you are trying to make the most of a day and you're trying to remain hopeful, and people are like, well, we are running out of this, so I don't know why you're smiling, because we are not in a good position. And actually, because I see that you can recuperate or recover very fast, because having the Six of Wands as the future or possible outcome card is not magical. There must be a way out. There must be a simple switch that you can do in your maybe routine in your life that can get you out of that. Oh, I feel so sorry for myself. Mm. I don't know if you can hear, but the gym teacher, the gym classes are are happening at this moment. I hope that you cannot hear it. Yes, you have to focus on your goals. I think that you are in this loop because you are not focusing on what's important to you. The five of pentacles is like, I'm focused on what I don't have, and it's like that's when you're wrong. You know, just get a goal, hold on very tight to that goal. Don't stop. Don't look back. Don't look at the sides. Just focus one task at a time. Focus on what you can do with what you have. That I understand with the Five of Pentacles, there's this, sort of mindset of like, what I have is not good enough. But you do have it. It's just that you are not seeing it. And the Six of Wands is like, come on, I want to celebrate. And I want to be celebrated, and also like just, try to, create connections and relationship with people that can praise you more, people that can, be like, wow, you did great today, or like just, I think that this is something that sometimes we are not, especially when we expect it from family members. And I know this, I'm an only child, but I had, I had been part of a big family. And this I notice about, and this is why I tend to not go anymore, because I'm 40, so I don't go anymore to these family reunions or family gatherings, like especially on Christmas and those things where they celebrate, they meet and they're all together. I'm like, no, I'm staying at my house. um because everything that family, or in family gatherings or in family reunions, everything that they say is criticism. And actually, like, I realized that maybe, having a reunion with friends or even strangers, I get like a very positive feedback about myself, or I get like more more like a positive conversation with them than with my family. With my family, it's like there's always, oh, remember when this happened to you, like embarrassing moments, and or something when you mess up, or if you were, I don't know, if you were child, when you were a child, you were ugly, something like this. They tell their children those kind of, stories. And since, these are your elders, or these are your, people that you grew up with, and at some point you respected them, you don't say anything. You just are like, okay. And I learned that I don't want to be in rooms where people are disrespecting me. I think that I'm the first one in my family that has that rule. And also, I don't bring those messages to other female family friends, nor to my cousins, nor to my nieces, nor to my friends' daughters. Like, if I don't have anything nice to say, I will not say anything. I will just, like, because sometimes when we are, comfortable, and we just speak our mind. But for me, especially when there's like very young children, or the girls that are teenagers, or their brain is still developing. So what you say as an adult in front of them, it matters, because just as a tiny criticism, it can get into their brains very fast. Yeah, please get me this that six of wands. I want to see you triumph. I want to see you be a winner. Please get into. I know that the present is like, oh, uh, I'm so I'm so sad right now. I'm so low in energy, and that also is valid. And I think that we have to embrace that, not all the time we are going to be great at things or doing great in life. Definitely you come from, certain heartaches, certain deceptions. I think that there's something about words being said to you that somehow, they had hurt you deeply, and maybe you carry those wounds with you. um, but there's also, I think that there's another kind of environment or activity that you can go to, that they will be a different kind of, companionship for you. So try to look for those places. I believe that you guys are now in summertime, so if you can go out more, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I will go to a party, or, you know it's more like, always start with a goal. Like, okay, I'm going to go over there because it's not that I want to make friends. It's like, I want to learn something new. And you go and do it, and you don't expect anything from this. This is why, every time I read cards for my clients, I'm like, you forget about, like, you listen to what I'm saying, but then you go and live your life. Don't get stuck on, oh no, because Vanessa said that this is going to happen. No, you have to be spontaneous about the movements of your life and the energy that is available. It's going to happen. Just don't get obsessed with, when am I going to, get better, or get out of this. Just focus on what you can do now. Yes, always surrounded with negativity. Yes, that shapes us. Yes, yes. Mm. Yes. You deserve better. Yeah, this is why the cards are like, she knows. She knows. She knows that she shouldn't feel sorry for herself. She knows this. It's just that you have to change the chip. The chip that it had been installed in you. Let's escape our countries. And where are we going to go? Nobody wants us. Oh my god. Yeah, consistency is super important. Yes. With the years, with maybe experience and being older now, I think that um, I had learned to see the beauty in my patience, or my ability to wait, or my ability to not obsess with time. And this is very Capricorn, too, because usually when you are a Capricorn, things don't happen like right away. It takes a lot of years. Like, I'm still developing. I'm like a child. I'm still a baby. Like, in life experiences, I think that I develop slow, um, but I do. And once you start seeing the beauty of slowing down, and just like, do not rush, do not worry about like when is it going to get better, when and am I going to get, just focus on what you have. Do your part, stay. Even when I always had these people around me that had a lot of reactive energy, and I can be like that as well, because I'm super like, I want to resolve things, or I used to want to do that, but especially when you are surrounded by people that are so fast, or they are like, well, we have to start this, so let's start this now. And I would always feel a bit like behind, because I would be like, yes, let's do this, I mean, but a part inside of me, I would always be like, but why do I feel like it doesn't work like that? Like, we're going to achieve something very fast, we're going to get the result that we want, but that result is not going to last, because some things take time. It's like when you want like an instant gratification or an instant solution, then you're like, yeah, we might have gotten a better result or something, or an outcome, but it doesn't sustain itself. It's like, it was great for that week, and now we are entering a new week, and it's all over the same speech. Well, guys, we have to do better because we did great, less, but it wasn't enough. And no, because in order for this to last, you have to be consistent and you have to be patient. And there's a certain industries, or maybe there's certain environments, places where you are good at what you do if you are fast. Like, if you respond fast to challenges, instead of planning it better, you are like, no, 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 I will do whatever I have to do, but this is going to move, and I used to feel like good about myself about being fast at things, but then I learned, about this, about being present, and about being very intentional about what you do. Just don't go with the flow of whatever emergency, um, build something long lasting, so you don't have to be all the time in a rush, plan better. um, But it's okay also to be confused, Spirit. It's okay to be confused. I have Mercury in the 12th house. I have Mercury in Capricorn, but it's in the 12th house, the house of Pisces. So, um, for a lot of years, I would always be like, no, like trusting my intuition, like intuition, if following your intuition, it sounded very very like crazy to me, like no, you listen to proofs, you see it, you analyze it, and you're like, okay, this is what's real. But then, I learned that intuition, it's also important, and sometimes intuition is like, wait, just don't make up your mind now, just wait. You don't understand why now, you cannot see why, but just wait. Things will develop the way they're supposed to be. Just don't rush to give a response yet. Wait. And 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 and, and it's confusing. It's this very like, why am I like, does that mean that I'm very not trustworthy, that I'm doubting, that I'm not making up my mind now, that I there's something about you that you're like, I'm not sure. I don't have all the answers, but all I know is that this doesn't feel right. And I would usually get it right, but it comes in the shape of confusion. Now, one thing that I learned to not listen to is what when people tell you that gut feeling, that's in my case is my anxiety. It's not that, oh, there's something that is going to happen, this is why I'm feeling so uneasy. No, that's my anxiety. That's my anxiety, or my maybe I'm getting triggered by something or someone, so I'm like, oh my god, I think that something is off. When it's that turn in your stomach, I'm like, that's not my intuition, because intuition feels like it's like an inner knowing, and it doesn't feel like, oh, you need to know this now. Listen to me. No, it's very calm, it's very clear also. But when it comes from here, I'm like, no, that's, or either your anxiety or you are fearful about something, so you are like, oh, my stomach or my guts are telling me that there's something wrong in here. No, when you get that, it maybe comes from a place of insecurity more than I knew something was going to be wrong. Like, my family is telling me to go for the safe, secure options like stable job arrangement, but my whole intuition just doesn't feel that way. Yeah, it's just that your intuition is telling you, and your heart is telling you, like, that's not for me. And it's just that, sometimes, family, they do push harder on us, and we don't want to disappoint, even if we feel like brave and we are like, well, these are different times. When you are inside this relationship with family, you know you're like, it's not that easy. I wish I could say like, oh, well, I will do what I want. It's not. When I remember when my mom was alive, like, she would never push me about marriage. But I think that there were moments where she would guilt trip me about, like, she would want to have like a grandson, like, oh, I would, if you have to work, I would take care of them. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, to have a child to give it to you so you can raise it, and you also have health problems, you can barely move because you have disabilities in your legs. So how, why would I do that to you? You know, like there's this fantasy of like, well, I want to have grandchildren and maybe I can raise them. Like, why? If you are free now because I'm grown, and you can go and travel and choose, you know, be with people of your age and have fun and go out, why do you want me to give you a child so you have to be like parenting all over again at 60 year old? You know, I was like very confused, but I guess that that's how women were raised, you know, in her family, you know, about you know, like grandmothers take care of their children, you know. And I was like, but you are a cool, not grandmother, but you are a cool, you know, elderly woman, that you are free because you don't have young children around, and you can go and, and have fun, you know. But no, it was because everyone were bragging about their grandchildren, actually complaining about having to take care of their grandchildren. And she was like, she felt like out of the conversation because she didn't have grandchildren. And I was like, well, you know, I'm just one one child for you. You should have had more children. You couldn't. She couldn't. She only had me. She couldn't have more children. Even I was a risky option. So, you know, that's all I can give you in this lifetime. Sorry. Sorry. Mm. Yes, yes. And poor woman, she died, and I didn't give her grandchildren, a grandchild. But um, and I love children. I love children. I believe I would be a great mother. But at the same time, I in this lifetime I have to focus on me because I do have health issues. So you cannot be a great parent if you have health issues that demand of you to focus on yourself, because you cannot move. So, you know, I had to make certain choices. You know, children is not just about, you know, raising them, and also, you know, having the money to do that, and having you know, a responsible partner around you, hopefully. But it's tough. It's tough. You know, I learned to accept my decisions, you know, and that doesn't mean that, you know, I wish I could, you know, do more, but I think that I have done what I can with, you know, surviving. Because, you know, the circumstances of where I was born, you know, I always had very weak, you know, health. So, you know, the fact that I'm alive, that I'm okay, that I'm here, that I'm able to smile and laugh with you, and just, you know, be in this is another thing, you know, that I seen that today, you know, there's a lot of content, or a lot of people talking about depression, talking about, you know, they are struggling with their mental health. They are with medication, but because of mental health issues. And I have physical issues, like in my body, in my system, and I take medication for this. But thank God, my mind, I do have mood swings, but my mind is optimistic still. I'm able to find joy in what I do. And this is why I think that I'm like, you know, we should stop pressuring ourselves. I think that each of us is trying to do their best. And this is why I never compare myself to others, because, you know, I'm not the other person, you know. And this is why when sometimes when people talk to me or they tell me what they're going through, you know, I empathize what the other person is going through. But at the same time, I don't pretend like, oh, I know what you're going through. No, we don't. I think that each one of us just know how hard things are for us. We know. So if you tell me this is difficult for me, I believe you. I'm like, it's your life and you know it. So there's and also there's not. This is why sometimes when people consume this content of people giving like tips to be happier, I'm like, I don't think that a shoe will fit for all. Like, I think that we are all different, and probably what makes me happy is not the same for someone else. It's just that you have to have a good relationship with yourself. Have a good relationship with yourself. I know that we are very influenced by our parents, la society, everything that we are seeing. It's all to trigger us and make us angry and anxious about everything. But if you know train yourself, or if you have the custom, the just connect with yourself. you know um I don't know what exercise you can do, but just be good to yourself. Just listen to yourself. Be like, oh, today I had been feeling like this. Why? And talk to yourself. Even if it sounds crazy, but just be, don't be absent of yourself, because it's our job. It's our job. There's people that they don't know themselves. This is why they're always surrounded by others. Or there's gossip for other people, and it's like, oh, did you know what happened to this person and this person, and did you know what happened to this guy? And I'm like, yeah, but what about you? Like, and you mentioned something, spirit. I think that you typed something about you being too much on your phone or something. Like, you mentioned the phone, I believe. You said something about the phone, and I think that's we are all guilty of that. And that's dangerous. That also the future generations are more addicted to this than us, because at least we know there's a part in our memory that we are like, I shouldn't be like so much on the phone, right? There's a part of you that even if you can stop it, you're like, there's a distant memory of me that I know, just like because I'm a millennial, and I remember uh, when I was young, my mom would always be like, don't be too many hours seated in front of the TV. Of course, we didn't have the channels. Like, later we had cable, but it was like, I was like, already I was like 12, 13 when we started to have cable. And those warnings that your parents will give you, like, don't watch too much TV, don't get too close to the screen of the TV because it's going to mess with your eyes, your eyesight. So and now, and then, of course, when the 2000s happened, I remember I got my first computer at my house with internet. And I would be chatting, and learning how to use the computer and everything. And back then it was super expensive to be online. And there also was this restriction, like, don't stay too much on the computer, go out. Just like now we say, go touch some grass. Well, it was, my mom was like, go out, like, go meet your friends, go sit on, outside. Don't be stuck in your room just talking to strangers online. But it wasn't strangers, it was my real friends, but or high school friends, but we were on chats, we were on chat rooms. um and now we have this device, the cell phone, that it's like TV, is like computer, everything. everything that we were warned about, like ever since I was a child, like don't consume that much and leave it, drop it, like let it be. Like somehow being able to watch TV or play a game or just be on the computer, it was like you had to earn it. You had to do your homework, you had to go outside, you have to help clean the house, you have to do your civil duties, you have to earn it, you have to earn the screen time. And now we have it all the time with us, and we are immersed in it, and nobody's saying anything. Nobody's saying like, hey, I think that this is not the right time for you to be on the phone like this. I'm here, can we talk? And it's like, no, 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 you can be with your phone like this, ignoring everyone, and the others are going to do the same, like, well, nobody's talking, everyone on the phone, I'm on the phone myself, or I'm on the phone as well. So it's like we're all in the same room but totally disconnected. And it's happening to all of us. And I think that that's what, it's like I cannot say like, oh, that is happening to you is so unfamiliar to me. No, I know I do it too. Mm, yeah. I and phone are in toxic relationship where I can leave it. It's bad. Because the thing, I didn't have real friends near me. All my friends were online. Yes. And now, since I live away from hometown, the phone addiction has continued. Yeah, same real friends, but we didn't live nearby. Mama was right. Yes. They were right. When they would tell us, like, that's enough, that's enough, forcing us to go outside, because it was like that. There was a lot of threatening. It wasn't like, go, you have to go, and you're like, yeah, I kind of wanted to go outside. You were like, no, I wanted to keep playing games or watching TV, and just chatting online. And but the thing is that um the TV and the computer stayed in a fixed room. So it was like, um if you couldn't access that room or that place, you wouldn't be able to watch it. And now we have it in our hands. It's bad, Spirit. It's bad. It's bad. And I think that, honestly, it's not just you, and for example, you're like, well, because I have friends online. I see it in my, in my family, that I have, my cousins, or my or maybe my aunts, that they are married, they have their partners, they have their children, they are all in the same room, and they are all in their phones. So that of like, well, if I wouldn't have the phone in my hand, I would build better relationships. I don't know about that. I don't know about that, because I think that there's like, people just don't want to engage anymore, and I think that this is why sometimes you're like, because I used to have this. Well, I was at work, and we had like a lunch break, or, in the middle of the day, if I had to do like late night shifts, like 7 p.m. And I would be like, okay, since, we have mate, that mate is like a drink that you share with others, and I will have it on my break. And we would share it. And of course, that because you're working and you cannot have the phone with you, back then we weren't allowed to have the phones with us. So I would be sharing, and of course I would get, my cell phone. Everyone will get the cell phone, and you will look like, if you have an important message, or if something happens, someone called you. These are people that some have families, they have children, so they're checking, because it's important. And probably we had like a break of 20 minutes. So it was like, you make the most of those 20 minutes to check on your phone. I would check the messages that everything was okay, no nothing, and then I would start like making the mate that it takes time. It's not like you pour just water in your cup, and this is your cup and you're going to drink from it and that's it. No, when you make mate, you have to get the mate recipient, and you have to get the hot water, you have to get the herbs, you have to it's a whole system, it's a whole ceremony to make the mate drink. So I would do it, and then I would share it with the other person. um, and it was a moment to bond. The mate drink serves with that purpose, to bond. It's like you have to look at me in the face and somehow accept what I'm giving you. So you have to somehow look at me and grab what I'm giving you the mate so you can drink from it. And I would intentionally, even if I knew that they were on their phones and I was like, that's great. But on my break, I decided, like, even if I had, mails and things from my other job as well, if it wasn't urgent, I would just put it away. And I would be, just present in the break, just present, just drinking the mate, or having lunch, or enjoying my food. It was a decision of mine, because I was like, yes, I'm on my break, but if I my work, it had to do with talking to people. So the thing that I wanted the most when I was on my break, it was to have silence, to not engage. Like, and it's not the same, in a professional way. I see it, like having a lot of people talking to you at the same time, the loud music and everything. It's not the same as you sharing a moment with a coworker that you two are eating. That's intimate, that's not like, oh, I'm bothered by your presence because you are eating, No, it's not the same, because you can relax, because with your coworker, you know each other. So there's a sense of like, there's a sense of, finally, I get off my role, my work, and I'm able to, relax. Um, and I would always because sometimes I had people, and this is about boundaries as well, because sometimes when people message you or send you messages, they know that you're working, and they're like, oh, but I know that you're on a break. Yeah, but if it's not important, let my break be my break, because it's only 20 minutes. So please, I take the moment to eat also, and drink something, or go to the toilet. So 20 minutes is like, if it's not important, you call me later, or we will talk when I have the day off, or when I'm, we will meet there. But if you know that I'm working and it's long hours, please, don't I just don't respond, to messages. So I was like enjoying, the mate, and enjoying everyone's company. And I would look, this was before the pandemic, and I would already look at some of these people. Some were really close friends of mine. So I would look at them, and I would start seeing this, having the phone like this and being like this. And and I was like, wow, we are losing um our ability to even make a conversation. I know that we are all tired, but there was like, I'm taking this break, and I'm using it to be on the phone. So, and there were people playing games with the phone. It wasn't like, no, this is an important call. No. But I wouldn't do that, because I was like, no, I want to be present. I want to be present. I want to connect with my body. I'm tired. I'm hungry, probably. So I wanted to connect with how I was feeling, because while you're working, you don't feel yourself, because you're always on a rush. So if I had the possibility to be seated, I wanted to connect with myself, with my body, with my present. And now, everyone, because of, mindfulness, and there's a lot of people also meditating. I think that there's a lot of exercises. There's more information about, like, oh well, you have to connect with the now and be present. But when I used to do it, like, nobody taught me. I would do it for myself, because I felt like, like, I need to go back to myself. This is the thing. When you're always with others, there's a moment, especially when you're serving others or you're helping someone out, there's something about you losing yourself. So somehow it's like, there's people that haven't eaten all day because we're like, no, I'm so busy. And it's like, if you don't feed yourself, nobody, like, just make the time, stop and make it happen. Because if it was up to our employers, so you have to make the rules, you have to organize yourself, don't abandon yourself. You're not going to get, the award of employee of the year, and even if you get it, it's not worth it. So please connect with yourself. What do I need? I think I need to go to the toilet, like. Maybe I should always carry a book like I did as a kid. Yes. Yeah, I was thinking about that. I also got into this, um, because I had to study. I'm doing certain courses, everything is online. So I had a lot of text that I had to go through. And honestly, I was procrastinating. I wasn't reading them. And I knew I was doing that. That's not okay, that, because I love to read, but there's something about what you read when you're studying, it's always boring. So it's not the same as you reading something that you like. So I also had to, because I would be on the phone. Yes, I would be, just on TikTok, and then I learned that, yeah, I was actively doing that. And then I was like, oh my God, I forgot to read the notes that, my teacher told me. Yeah, you are procrastinating. Like, why? And the same with, on Discord, we talk about, we're always talking about C dramas, K dramas, and we're like, what are we watching? What are we watching? I finished this or I dropped this. I have a thing also lately that is happened to me with K dramas and C dramas, that I I get bored. I cannot finish them. It's like once I discover the plot, or I somehow, I'm seeing patterns of, oh, this, I know this is going to happen. I don't appreciate it anymore. And I think that that's a sign that it's not that the K drama, C drama is bad, is that probably I need to get another activity that it doesn't require a screen. More like, go out, go find yourself a hobby. Not everything has to be audiovisual. I don't know if that's a word in English, but it is in Spanish. um, that it doesn't have to be on a screen. It doesn't have to be always visual. So I started, like, reading more, not buying books. Actually, because I do have a lot of books. So I was going through my old library, and I found a lot of books that I haven't finished or I haven't read, actually, or when I read them and I don't remember. So I started going back to read books. And that's also what I'm using as a way of not being on social media. Like like I do it when I'm here with you guys, and when I'm creating, the shorts and everything, I just take my time, I create the content or the clip, I send it, and then, and I check Discord every once in a while to see, what you guys are sharing or talking about. And then I choose, I read a book, and it had calmed my anxiety, because I had been feeling very anxious, and I don't know why. And I think that it has to do with the consumism of news, um, um, I don't know. I think that there's also like a lot of drama, and I'm like, no, why are you consuming this? Like celebrity gossip or all those things, that in here in Argentina we do have them. Well, celebrities of Hollywood, of course. Oh, who got married? Who didn't get married? And I'm like, that's and one thing is that probably what we are doing is not just for procrastination. I think that we are bored. We are bored. This is the thing. We are getting so much of content and we are bored. At least that's how I feel it. I'm like, why am I not enjoying this like I used to? I'm bored. I'm bored. I have a lot of things available and I think that I don't want it. Good. Yeah, we are bored. The other day that I got together with my friends, two of my best friends. It's not like I have tons of friends. No, my two only friends, like best friends. We got together because of Friends Day. Um, I had the time of my life, and and I think that we don't take pictures. We didn't do anything fancy, but we're always talking, like conversations, and I think that sometimes because of work and they have families and sometimes you don't see each other. You just can't. You try to make the most of your time, but someone lives far away, the other one is super busy with work, life. So I think that this is why we are online, because at least online you're like, well, I feel like I connected with someone. I don't know this person in person. I don't know them like physically, but I did have a conversation with them. We had a combo. So, I feel social. It's not like we are alone with our thoughts. No, I talked to someone online, but you know, yes, meeting friends always refreshing because it's so rare now. Yeah, sometimes I was like, well, maybe it's because I don't make the effort, but the reality is that people are very busy these days, and and even if you want to, you're like, yeah, we should meet more often, right? Our lifestyles don't allow us to do that. They don't allow us to do that. I don't know. I think that yes, we need to change certain things about our dynamics, but you know, even like dating it's super odd. I don't know how you guys go through dating, in your countries, but um, I had a couple of dates and they were so lame. Not a single thought in their brain that was original. Like, I don't know if it was me that I got all the performative mails, but I swear, I was like, can I go home? Like, just, and I'm trying to, be, just, you know, just giving people a chance, and be like um, open to meet people, just, but it's, it's not great. It's not great. And there were moments where I was there and I was like, I wish I was home, just alone, just because no. Mm. Yeah, and that's the thing, Spirit. Everyone thinks the same of the other person. like, it's not that it's like, oh, they are not texting me. No, everyone thinks that it's like, oh, we don't talk, but it's because she's busy. you know there's no dating for me, only arranged marriage by parents. I was very close to being forced into. Oh my. I think that at this point, I also should be should be forced into a marriage, because if it's up to me, I don't want it. Like, I mean, I'm trying, but there's also something about men of my age seem very childish, and some of them have, like, children of their own. They have their own dating experience. They have, very important jobs or responsibilities, but they seem like, when I'm talking to them casually, it seems like I'm talking to a teenager, and their mentality is so like a child, and I'm like, wow. um but well, yeah. Yes. mm, I don't know. Okay, that's enough for the ranting. Let's start with today's readings. I don't have many, but there's some people. Thank you for the topic of conversation, Spirit. Thank you for, it was a great, it was an honor reading for you. So yeah, let's go. Let's get out of this. Okay, for today I have, I'm going to read for EXO Sehun. Someone wanted an update. It's been a while since I read for him. I thought I read for him in every season, but I couldn't find him. So maybe no one recommended him. Or maybe he was in the military still. I don't remember. Well, then I'm going to read for Trisana acting career. I'm going to read for Wonho or Wonho. I never know how to pronounce it. Is it Wonho or Wonho? Going to pull cards for Evan, for Apink Naeun, and former Le Sserafim member Kim Garam, because these readings, they were supposed to be for, the former members of groups that they are still active in their respective careers. They're not part of a group, but they are still in the industry. So I do have, a mix of some names in here. It's not all of them, but I think that, it's inspired on, former member of Moonchild's Wonho. Yes, thank you. Yeah, because I was listening to his music and I was like, it's been a while since I read for him. Like, I don't know. I thought about him. So yeah. mm, yes. Okay. I'm going to start reading for EXO Sehun. Let's see, an update for him. Let's see how he's doing. Is he religious? Is Sehun religious? I mean, if he's not religious, he's part of a very a community that it's very, it feels like, like, feels like a community that not a lot of people have access to these communities. Maybe it's for rich people because I have him as the king of pentacles, so there's something about him being very prestigious and stable. But I see, the hierophant, so I'm like, he's always like supported by a community, or it could be SM as well, that they support his back, even though he's super independent. But I see like a congregation of people supporting him and his lifestyle. This is why I'm like, is he part of like a country club or something like this, that it feels luxurious, and it's like very old school, old money. Okay, for Sehun, we have the Hierophant, we have the King of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Swords in the middle, have the Four of Wands, and we have the Six of Pentacles. And then I have the card of the Four of Cups, that it says contemplation. Contemplation. So he's very contemplative. I think that there's something about his, maybe it's his reality, his, I think that he's doing okay, but he feels a bit like trapped. Maybe there's not like a lot of, I think that he feels like, when you are safe somehow and things are going okay, but there's not much like adventure in his life. And I think that this is why he has like the Four of Cups, that it says contemplation, that it feels like, just like we were mentioning, about, when you consume a lot of content, or when you have, I have all these movies and series and things to watch, and somehow I'm bored, and it's not that fulfilling, it's not that exciting. And I think that for him, it feels like this. It feels like his reality, it feels like he has everything that he needs and more, but there's also and there's something just very interesting, because we have the Hierophant and we have the King of Pentacles. So there's something about him having like the right support, or the right teachers, even, I would say. This could be also EXO, or EXO Legacy, SM, all these big names, this big industry, this community of, and I think that he had always been like the chosen one. There's something with the King of Pentacles, like, for you or to you, we will give you the best. Like, I don't know if people like even give him money, because I think that he lives a really good life, really good. Him as the King of Pentacles, is, I think that he had always been like very spoiled. It's giving me rich, like I'm rich, like, and I'm rich, and there's something just like, it feels like he, I don't want to say like he hasn't worked to do the to have the richness, but I think that there's something about him being, supported by the right people. This is why we have the Hierophant, that somehow is like, you are this King of Pentacles because you followed our rules, or you followed our traditions. And he had always been, that very lucky member, that he always got, the nicest things, just because he is, the magne, for example. There's a lot of prestige that comes from belonging to where he belongs. And I think that he's also a very loyal person. With the King of Pentacles is giving me like, he had always, stayed loyal and grounded. This is why it's giving me like good boy vibes. Like I've always behaved. Whatever you guys, tell me that I had to do, I always completed. I always done what you guys wanted me to do. So there's something about him being spoiled, yes, but there's also a level of like I had always behaved well. I never disappointed people, or I never disappointed this community, these my teachers, my family, my country. There's something just very traditional about him being a very traditional man. It's just that we have the Eight of Swords in the middle, so mentally maybe he's like a bit like confused, and he feels a bit like a victim, a victim of his own good reality, because he lives a good life, honestly. He lives a good life, but there's something about him being like, is there more in life than this? Him maybe is starting to contemplate more and trying to think about the philosophical things in life, because it seemed like he had achieved a lot from a very young age. So there's something about him, yeah, he had achieved it. So there's something about like, in now what do I do? um and he had mastered every challenge. Like I think that this man um is very consistent. I know he's an Aries, but the King of Pentacles is giving me Earth energy. There's something about him slowly, just like we were talking about the words of patience, consistency. But he never doubted himself. He's like, sooner or later I will get there, or I will get the job done, and I will get the recognition. And I see that probably it's taking him years to maybe finish, a stage in his life. But he is uh, like, he's the good boy. There's something about older people just congratulating him, like, you are a good boy, or you are a good man, you are going to be a great citizen one day. Like there's something, a lot of praises towards his um endurance, or towards his way of behaving. There's something about them congratulating him a lot, like, wow, that probably it doesn't match his real self, but it seems like for public, maybe public scenarios, or for school, for these rigid kind of environments, the way he conducts himself is very traditional, is very classy. So people love him, especially people in power. They're like, we want you. But I think that he has like an inner conflict. There's something about him being like, is life always going to be like this? Like, where is the challenge? And of course, him being an Aries, it sort of makes sense that there's something inside of him that is starting to question his reality. It's like, I have a good life, but what else? What else is there for me? We have the Four of Wands, and we have the Six of Pentacles. So, I mean, I think that he will continue to have good experiences in his life. Work, probably, with the Four of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. It's just that he's super, I don't want to say like life is good for him, because I think that there's something just very pleasant about his experience. He, with the Six of Pentacles, it's like, I give and I receive. I give, I will have this event, and I do this, and it's enough, and it's good enough, and I done my part, and then I go home, or I go to this event, I have fun, or I interact with people, or and that's it. No one is questioning his involvement in things. It's like he does his part, is great, and then I go home. And it's like, it doesn't feel like, oh my god, he's so tired, like, oh no, like, do I have to do this, like, when, until when? No. But I think that there's something also with all these pentacles. There's something that I think that this is the key of his energy, is that he doesn't overdo. he doesn't exaggerate. To every situation that has come up or challenge that has come up to him, he shows up, he does what he's told, and then he goes home. And no, oh my God, I'm worried. What if this is not good enough? He's like, I done my part. I have been responsible. I showed up. I did my part. Then I go home. And I think that this is so balanced of him. This is so like, he doesn't exaggerate this is why maybe he's so admired or so wanted, because he has a certain like temperance. He has a temperance, that he's like always balanced. He's always like, yeah, this was easy. Yeah, I just came here and did my part, and now I go home, and that's it. It's not. But he's loved also. This is why, we have the King of Pentacles. He had always probably been treated like a little prince. So, good karma. But yeah, Four of Cups. Probably Sehun is bored. He wants a new challenge. Maybe, with the Four of Wands and the Six of Pentacles, there could come more. I don't want to say like work, because it doesn't feel like work. It's more like I have to assist to these events. That is all super fun. It's him interacting a bit with people, but it's for a short period of time, like making an appearance or just appearing in someone's content. But it's very it's not like a long project. But yeah, he's bored. He's like, what else? Probably this year is like this for him. Probably this year is like this for him. This is why we have the Eight of Swords, because he knows that things are too quiet, things are too, and he's like, things are too simple, he's like, should I be worried? Yeah, he's bored of the same old, yes. But he's comfortable. Yes, he's comfortable. He must, as the King of Pentacles, he doesn't need anything. He doesn't need anything. So this is why his energy is not on survival mode. Like, oh my God, what do I do? No. He's bored. He's like us. He's bored. Except we are not famous. Okay, I'm going to continue with Twice Sana, acting career. Let's see how she's going to do. Sana, acting career. She got the Three of Pentacles twice. So, very interesting. Three of Swords, Three of Pentacles, Five of Swords. And then we have the Three of Pentacles again. That it says perfection. I mean, her acting career is going to be in Japan, right? I believe it is. Sorry. Because I think that there's something, there's a bit of an issue with collaboration, with teamwork. I think that things are not the way she's used to working. Things are very different in this environment. There's something, maybe she will not get along with some people. I think that there's something about maybe teamwork doesn't exist over there. Like each one does their part, and it's like as long as you have your part right, you're okay. And she is more. This is why we have the Three of Pentacles twice, because there's something about her, being an expert in teamwork and how important is to be there for one another, to lift each other up. And in here there's a lot of like maybe refusal to do this. It's like, oh, I go and do my own, I go on my own, and I do my part, and I don't care about yours. So I think that is going to be a bit challenging for her. There's misunderstandings also, like they don't understand her and her experience. They're like, well, we don't do that here. So it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. Also, the Three of Pentacles is perfection. So I think that there's something maybe about Sana's experiences that it's not that she's aiming for perfection, it's not that she's a perfectionist, but she's someone that she's like, if I can help someone to do better or be better, I will do my part to help the other person shine. Because if the other person shines, I shine in consequence. That's teamwork, that's collaboration. And in here it seems there's an issue with collaboration. It's like, no, you don't talk about the other performance or the other person's acting. You do your part, you deliver your lines, and that's it. We will manage the rest. So it feels a bit like it's going to be challenging, but it's part of her experience also. It's not that it's always going to be like this, but probably, there's going to be a few differences that I think that is going to somehow, let her know, like, oh, people do things like this here. I didn't know. I'm kind of a bit awkward about this. I kind of don't like it, but I understand if they work like that. I think that she's going to be a bit upset at first. Maybe even call some people out and say something. Because I see her, with the Five of Swords, it's like she can be, she can actually call people out and be like, that's disrespectful, or, I don't do that. I think that she's trying to collaborate. And these people are more like self-centered. Like, you do your part. Focus on you, don't look at the others. And she's like, but if I can help, I can multitask. The Three of Pentacles is about joining forces and resources, and these people probably don't. It seems like they don't want to collaborate with her. It's like, no, we don't need you to do anything for us. We are okay. Okay. A bit disappointing, yes. The male actor she's working with is getting trolled online. I love his acting, actually. I don't know much about him as a person, but I did watch, his certain movies of his, and I did like it. But yeah, about him personally, I don't know. What is what is his name? Is it Takeru Sato? Because I want to pull cards for the two of them. Let's see. Yes, very disconnected. Not like there's not teamwork in there. Yeah. Is it Takeru Sato, the name of the actor? Mm. Mm. Let's see. Yes, exactly. Anything related. Let's see her and him. Let's see. Wait, that I want to. Okay. Let's see her and him. Let's see Sana and Takeru Sato. Are they going to be like romantic in that? There's a lot of emotions. They got a lot of caps. So I'm like, is this going to be like a rom-com? Oh, a lot of emotions. Yeah, a lot of emotions. From Sana's part, we have the Temperance and we have the 10 of Cups. Very nice. From his part, from Takeru's part, we have 4 of Pentacles and we have the Knight of Cups. And then in the middle, we have, for their connection, we have the 7 of Cups. So yeah, I think that there's like probably there's a lot of fantasy around them, like people, and also I think that maybe it's part of the promotion to maybe leave the door open so people can speculate as well, like, okay, what is going on between us, but definitely whatever they're going to shoot, it feels very emotional. It feels like, like it's healing. It's like a healing kind of show or movie, or I don't know what is it. But yeah, from Sana's part, yeah, is so sweet, so sweet. We have the Temperance, we have the 10 of Cups. um, um I feel her like she's so sweet, and she's like, this is for family, or this is, a moment to get people together, and she's going to also be seen as an angel, like very, very charismatic, sweet, super sweet. um yeah, in the case of him, yeah, I have the Knight of Cups, and also the 4 of Pentacles. So yeah, he's a bit stubborn. He's super nice. He's going to be super nice and charming towards her. It's just that I think that he, there's something that maybe this is, if people are, saying something about him. I remember I seen certain projects of his that usually is romantic. So I think that it's not that he pursues, the co-star or something like this. It's just that he, with the 4 of Pentacles, there could be him a sort of like a fixation on him wanting to be the romantic lead, or him insisting on being like the romantic hero. It's like, I'm here to save you with my love, I'm here to make your life better. It's like he refuses to let go of these kind of roles. He wants to be like the forever boyfriend, so maybe there's a bit of, a stubbornness from his part, that maybe people are like, I don't know how old he is, but there's something about maybe people being like, you should give up those roles already and maybe do something else, or something, a bit different, like another genre. But he's like, no, I have a lot of love to give. I can still be, the handsome boyfriend, lover, husband. I don't see him acting like a husband. It's more like, I'm the knight in the shining armor, like literally just being too sweet, or being too heroic, or being too in love, and I'm so ready to show in my person how much I love them, and it's all full of emotions, and maybe people are mocking him because of this. It's like you should drop those roles already and focus on do something else. But he's like, no, no, he's stuck in his ways. There's a bit of with the Four of Pentacles that he's like, no, I still can pull this off. I still can do it, in these roles. He refuses. And also, the Knight of Cups is this very youthful energy of like, of course, that he's not old. It's just that people maybe are like, there's something just a bit too juvenile in the roles that you play. So we are like, are you sure you know, this is the part that you should take? Um, but yeah, super nice with her, super nice, super lovely, a gentleman. So I don't, but I think that if there's criticism towards his person, I don't see him changing. With the Four of Pentacles, he already is telling me, like, he feels like he was born to play these roles. He was born to be, you know, like idealized as the nation's boyfriend. Could it be? Could that be a thing? Maybe there's someone from Japan in here that maybe they can tell me a bit about Takeru. Oh, and his whole, filmography or series. I remember him in I believe the first love, is it the one on Netflix? I loved that, and also he's around my age. We are kinda, I know he's younger probably than me, but he gives me millennial vibes, so I kind of feel for him, I'm like, I like his acting, but maybe for younger generations it's like, no. And maybe the roles tend to be like too exaggerated, or him being too much in his feelings, or being too available for the female lead. But yeah, Seven of Cups, I think that people will keep talking about them, their dynamic. Is going to be There's going to be a lot of like speculations, like different theories. Like, okay, what is this? They don't get along. They do get along. People choose fantasizing about this too, but they're okay. They will have, there's a lot of good chemistry and just very gentle vibe. Never change, lover boy, never change. Yeah, I think that she will not have an issue with him. Actually, I think that she feels like maybe she admires him, because I have the Ten of Cups. So I'm like, why do I feel like she's like, in my community we love you, or my family we all know your work and we love you. It feels very sweet. Romance master. Thank you for the likes, guys. Okay. Let's continue with Wonho. Let's see how, what's available for him, for his career. Former member of Monsta X. Let's see him in his career. Let's see how it's going to go. He had the Four of Cups again. Okay. Okay, Wonho, we have the King of Swords, we have the Page of Pentacles, we have the Five of Wands, and we have the Sun. And then Four of Cups, contemplation. Yeah, I think that um he's very he has matured a lot. You know, his solo career has allowed him to reach to that level of maturity, especially in decision making. You know, I think that he is a very strategic and intelligent soloist, and there's something about him conducting himself very well, also just being very clear about his goals, about what he wants to achieve. I don't know in what if he is under an agency or company. I don't know where, but it seems like, you know, he has the ability to speak up, you know, to say like, okay, I want this project to be like this, you know, I want this to have these elements. I see him very involved, and also he's super intelligent. He's a very intelligent man, very intelligent, and he has, you know, his vision is very clear about, especially this year, you know, it feels very clear about, you know, every processes that he builds with his image, with himself, you know. Five of Wands, the Sun. See, he is actually very admired. I think that his experience in the industry, you know, he is still in the spotlight, and he's going to be still in the spotlight. It's just that, you know, the Five of Wands is also about the challenges of maybe him getting the possibility of being more, you know, more visible, more out there. You know, maybe there's a lot of competition. Of course, it's K-pop. There's a lot of competition, and it's really hard for him to get his product out there, you know, even if he does get it at the end, because we have the Sun. And I think that at the end is because of his charisma, you know, that he is someone that you know, he hasn't lose his stardom. You know, this is not about being a star. This is him, about him just standing out. And you know, I know that people are, you know, they always commented about his physique, but he is different, you know. And I think that there's something about him always coming the way he is. You know, the Five of Wands is not just him overcoming the obstacles of being a soloist, and also coming, you know, after him leaving, you know, Monsta X. And there were a lot of battles, or a lot of differences that he had to with people not really accepting him, or people fighting for him, and just being like, oh well, you know, he is this, he is that, you know. But he never changed to please anyone. Maybe he was very criticized by others, or a lot of people wanted him gone of the industry, honestly, because, you know, oh no, he doesn't represent our values, you know, he doesn't do this like the others do, you know. And he was like, you know, this is how I roll, this is how I am in all my magnitude. You know, so he's like, I'm not going to fit any of your standards. I'm going to keep showing up as me, with my talents, with my charisma, and you're going to see me, even if you don't like it, even if you want to put me on in a box. I will not belong to that box. So he had to, and he still has to fight a lot of maybe prejudice, you know, a lot of people being like, oh, if you did that, maybe you would be better without that, you know, that element. And he's like, that's part of my brand. This is me. People know me for this, and this is my authentic self. So, and nobody can copy that, because this is all me. You cannot copy me. You can try, but you will not make it. You know, I think that he's a very intelligent man. It's just that, yes, you know, him probably being on his own is difficult. The process of, you know, him maybe getting the views, getting, you know, the recognition, getting a possibility to be invited to different places, you know. I see him that he's like, yeah, you know, I do get a lot of no's. I do get a lot of people, being rejected or just doors being closed. But I will make it. I will make it because I know I'm worth it. So he knows his appeal. He knows that once he enters the scene, all the eyes are on him and you're gonna look away. So, so yeah. But yeah, this year it's also about contemplation. I think that he realizes that, you know, probably as the years passes, things have been difficult in this industry, especially in his case, of him having to stand on his own. And there's something also about him learning a lot about the business, maybe about law, about, him studying the laws, or him studying and having to acquire extra knowledge about things. Because since I mean, I think that he has help, he has people, but somehow to achieve the vision that he has, that he wants to go for, he's like, I have to do it myself, or I have to study about this myself, because I cannot always depend on, like, well, I will hire someone to do it. And honestly, is complex. Sometimes maybe he hires people, sometimes people work well with him and then maybe they leave, or they are not consistent, or there's disagreements, there's, like, creative differences. So, and he's like, I have to make the most of this, because it's like he is his own boss and he is the star. So he's like, I have to be present, I have to show my face, I have to get involved. I cannot be just waiting for someone of the staff to arrange things for me and tell me what my next movie is going to be. It doesn't work like that. He has to build it himself. So it's an incredible experience that also has, like I said, the maturity that he has, the self-actualization that he has earned, and also his intelligence, his ability to negotiate, his ability to speak up for himself and his needs and what he wants to create. I think that he is a very intelligent man, very knowledgeable, that I don't know if maybe him being in a group, if he would have earned that, you know, if he would have acquired that experiences of having to make it on your own, and somehow it's like, well, I have to learn this. I don't know about this. I have to do it myself. So I love it for him. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Hey, Danya, welcome back. Let's see, Evan. I know I read for him not so long ago, but yeah, since he's also someone that is a soloist. Let's see, in this sense, him being away from his former group. Let's see, what the cards say about this journey for him, about of being a soloist. Evan, former Hison. Mm. 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 It makes sense. It's still very early to judge his, because he has to go through, I guess he has to go through what all these people, soloists, independent artists, is full of hardships. If things are not going to be like easy, It's like the transition is never going to be smooth. But there's a lot of love for him, nevertheless. So for Evan, former Hisun, we have the Two of Cups, we have the Knight of Cups, we have the Ten of Wands, and we have the King of Wands. And then I have the Eight of Pentacles, that is his apprenticeship. So see, there's a lot of apprenticeship. There's a lot of work still to do. Very specific things about what he's going to be providing or what he's going to be bringing as a soloist. Um, there's a lot that he still has to work on. And this is I think that the good thing for someone like Evan is that, when we think about the Age of Pentacles, like apprenticeship, is a very, it's like you have to work on the details, but you already have it. You already have the talents, the resources. It's not the same as having to start over, like some people when they leave companies, or when something happened and then decide to start on another kind of different industry, and they have to start from the bottom. In the case of Evan, there's more like a mastery of what he already possesses. So it's about looking into the details of maybe this beginning, and being like, oh well, I didn't do that well in here. Oh, I think that this was very poor, or I didn't like this. I don't think that this is fitting for me. I think that he got this. So there's a lot of love for him, and he loves people as well. He loves. Um, it's just that the Two of Cups, and I think that when I did the reading after it was announced that he was leaving, in Hypen, I did the reading as a video for the channel. And I remember I saw someone that, I said in the reading, he's not alone, even though, he's going to be the soloist and everything. There's someone guiding him. Wait, guys, I'm back. I got disconnected. So there's something also about him, maybe it feels awkward because he's sort of relying a lot on maybe, well, people, if people love me, they will, um they will be reciprocate to this that I'm giving, and he's like relying a lot on others, and this is him being very Libra also, being like, well, I hope that they like it, because I still have this connection, and not with everyone, because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that love them, and there's a lot of people that are suddenly ignoring him, but he's deciding to be this loving messenger anyways, even if there's haters. He's here coming with his cups, and he's like, guys, I love you all, thank you for supporting me, thank you for being here, thank you for being understanding. He's trying to build also, maybe it's his own fan club, of or his own fandom. He's going more for the connection, like emotionally I need to establish, or maybe even like repair a certain connection that I had with my people, and he feels very reciprocated in this sense. It's just that there could be a bit of daydreaming and idealization um of this industry or this journey. There's something just very, very like sweet about him, that he's like, well, if they love me, they will support me. I know that they will, because I love them and I need them, and I know that they're going to be there for me. And there's something about, like, things are going to get tough, or maybe he's going to get tough love, from some people, that even people that they say that they love him, some point being like, you know this is not that great, or we don't agree on this. So I think that for him it can be a bit, heavy. It can be a bit heavy, somehow, maybe people seeing him trying to overcome things and just not giving him um, a good feedback and being like, "You're trying too hard," or this is not good enough. Um, and also, I think that he has like a boss or a manager or someone that is super harsh on him, that he loves this person, he admires this person. See, he's sort of looking at this guy. He's like, you see, he's like a father figure for him. So he's like, see, I'm doing my best, I'm showing up, I'm doing all of this, and I'm working nonstop, and I'm working extra hours to do better, to go through this, and this man is just adding more pressure to him, this king of wands. He's like, well, that's not good enough, you have to do better. So, the dynamic with people in there are changing. And this is not the fans. This is more like maybe executives. This is like a CEO. That maybe at the moment there was an agreement. There was something initially that it was, well, we love you. Whatever you do, just be sure that we will support you. And now, this guy is showing his true colors. That actually he is very blunt, very harsh, very just very harsh on him, on Evan. And the feedback is not good. It's like, you have to do better, or you have to try and do more of this that you have. You better do more. So he could feel the pressure. Yes, it's about also, seeing people's faces. I would say for what really is, because maybe this person, their intention, it was to overwork him. It's like, I want to have as many groups or as many artists as possible. So you're all going to work extra hours at the same time. Like, your activities are going to overlap with their activities. And it's all like, do more, do more, do more, don't stop, this is not good enough, no, no, you will not stop. So yeah, he will have to give everything of himself. But Eight of Pentacles apprenticeship is part of learning, growing. It is like this. It's a learning process. But thank God, like I said, the Eight of Pentacles is that he already has it. He has the talents. He has, the resources. It's just that he has to be more detailed. He has to work on details. Maybe things that he didn't think of before. Now he has to, learn about those. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I will do a part two. Yeah, because not so many people left recommendations, because I don't think that they understood, the dynamic, what I was asking. But yes. Okay. I'm going to continue with Apink Naeun. Apink Naeun. Is she an independent artist? Because I see that her self-esteem, she's another one that shines very much. So this girl could be a solo or have her own company, because I mean, she is I think that she has the starter vibes, but also there's a lot of shining in here. Is she a Leo? Okay. For Apink Naeun, we have Page of Wands, the Hierophant, Nine of Pentacles, and the Sun. Very nice, very nice. And we have the Lovers, that is a choice. The Lover's choice. So yeah, I think that she's very like, she can be anything that you want her to be. I think that her attractiveness, it has to do with her uniqueness, or it has to do with her ability to not tie herself to one style, or it's like, oh, I do this and that's it. No, she's like an explorer of options, of choices. She's like, well, I can do this, I can do that, I can be that as well. So she is just very magnetic, ambitious, just she's doing a lot. Like there's something just that she's like, I'm just starting, but she's building something. Or maybe she's building like faithful fans, or like we were mentioning, like a fan base. Maybe getting an approval, or recognition from the higher ups, or from a part of the industry. She's been taken seriously. It's just that, yeah, it feels very fresh. The Page of Wands is her. She has all this enthusiasm, because she's like, wow, this is new, and she wants to be taken seriously also. She wants to be taken seriously, but she feels very juvenile, very like childlike. Like for me, this is like playing. It feels like she loves to move her body, she loves to change locations. It feels very active. um yeah, Nine of Pentacles, she has great charisma. It's like people could be watching her for hours, because maybe she's super funny. And she knows, she knows her value. There's something about her being like, I know I deserve this and more. So if someone gives her a chance, or they sign a deal with her, or they give her a contract or something, and she's like, I know I'm meant to be a star. I'm meant to shine, or I'm meant to be excellent, or I'm meant to, I don't know, be a protagonist. This is not someone that is like, well, I will be part of a group, and my identity is inside a group, and I'm with the group, or I'm with a group of colleagues, and I'm, one of them. I think that she can start, being somehow one of the people, and then slowly she will rise to have her own, her own spot, her own spotlight. Because she's very important, and also she has a lot of energy, so it's really hard for you to miss her, for you to be like, who is this? Like, her energy is always up, is always up. um um it's really hard to ignore her, but she's very proud of herself. It's like, if she has to promote herself, like, she will be talking about herself for a lot of hours, because she loves, she's very proud of herself, proud of her experience. Super playful. I do like her. Is she going to shoot like a project soon? Did she sign a deal with someone, with an enterprise or something like this? Because I see the Hierophant here, and I think that whatever new role that she's going to get is going to be very successful. It's going to put her on the map again. ah, okay. She's always been a strong character. She's an actress with YG. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, because I'm like, this woman is like, playing with the, I mean, in the environment that she is, she's very well, she's in the right place. She's in the right place. Like I think that it's not like, oh my gosh, she will be rich because of that company, but I think that it's about the you know how YG is, it is more about the I don't remember not the recognition. Is more about the I cannot think about that word. Trajectory. It's more about the name of YG being associated, like more than what they can do for her. It's more like, well, I'm under this, company that is huge, um, and reputation. That reputation. Mm. I do think she left I Pink to focus more on her acting career. That is another choice she had to make. She tried to balance both, but finally left the band. Yeah, because she has so much potential. She really wants it. She really wants it. She wants that protagonism, that protagonist lead role. She wants it. She wants it. Very passionate. She would be frustrated if she didn't do anything about it. Mm. Okay, I'm going to read for the last one. That is Kim Garam, former Le Sserafim. Was she in Le Sserafim? Yes. Kim Garam. I was going to say New Jeans. No. Hmm. She's moving super fast. What is she working on? She's moving super fast. I don't think that it's like, how can I say this? It's not like work, like, you building one step after the other. No, it's more like planning. Like, we are launching this, and it's already planned, and it's going to be huge, and um a lot of ones. So I'm like, there's a lot of energy, a lot of passion in this. Two of ones, six of ones, three of ones, King of Swords for Garam. And also there's like, could it be expanding her like worldwide, or expanding her brand, or taking her places? Two of Cups passion. So it also has to do with something that aligns more with her passion, and maybe her desire to connect more maybe with the audience, and not so much like, again, like, um, like this other woman that I read for recently. I think that for Garam, brand, or maybe this new part of her life, it's important to connect, with people, and maybe, have the possibility to, again, build this connection with the audience, maybe, because maybe there's people that they were really ruling for her, and then the scandal happened, and maybe there's people that they're still, well, we still, we're still waiting for her, or we still want to hear from her. Maybe there's people that refuses, but I think that she is like, if I do this, or if I don't see her being part of a group. This is what I am getting. That I think that the thing with Garam is that she has the ability to get to you, and for you to do this, it's like you have to focus on her. So it's all about her. So if she was part of a group, she could be your bias. She could be your bias record, but at the same time, she will have to limit herself to just be what the group needs of her. Or maybe if they have a concept like, okay, you're the quiet one, you're the sexy one, you are the, and it was very restrictive for her nevertheless, because I feel a lot of movement. There's something about her coming back like really strong, and there's triumph. And I think that this is just the beginning, because it's going to be like, well, we are releasing this of her, but then there's something else of her as well. This is like the preview, and then there's no, season one and season two, something like this. But it feels like it has to be now, or maybe it's already happening, and I don't know. Uh, but I think that she has the love of the people. There's some people that love her, and that probably they're waiting to welcome her back. um we have at the end the king of swords, so definitely there's like a father figure, or there's like maybe it could be a lawyer, it could be a manager slash lawyer, someone that it's also very much like controlling, or maybe he's like regulating what is being said of her online, or they are trying to, this person is very observant of that. It's like, just in case, there's something legal or something that happens online, we're going to limit those things. This is someone also very, very sharp, very intelligent. But everything that is for, her career to continue. um and I see people ruling for her. um People are so curious about her. Yeah. Haven't heard anything about her work. Yeah, me neither, but it seems like there's something like it had already been planned, so it has to be launched. Could it be like a photo shoot or something like this? Is she a model? Because it's like we're changing location, we are moving. Could be a blogger, yeah. But she has the connection. She has her people. She has her fans probably. So she has the love of people still. People haven't forget about her. Mm. I'm still confused about new jeans to this day. Poor kids caught in a battle of adults. Yeah, today I did create another TikTok. I know that there was a part of my reading for 2026 for the girls. I did have it, but today I added like another part, another piece of a clip to TikTok. Um, because I saw hiatus. I don't think that the girls will be active yet, because um, there's changes. They're changing everything about the girls. They can commemorate some elements of, maybe their style, but I think that what they're aiming to with them is totally rebrand them, like new brand, new everything. Well, except that some of the girls are the same, but it is like a whole new. It's totally new. It's going to be very new from what you know. Um, so I don't see them coming back yet. They could appear, but I don't see them coming back yet. They have new members? Really? Oh wow, I didn't know that. Yeah. Yeah, because it's going to be brand new. It's like they, which, just like I said when I read, you know, at the beginning of the year, I cannot tell you if it's going to be good new or bad new, but um, I don't know. I don't know. But well, yeah, they probably want to, maybe make some changes so people don't don't think about the past, but it's impossible to not think about the past when you see their faces. It's like, what do you want me to do? Like, pretend like this is my first time watching them? Now, if they give them lame music, I know I'm going to be upset about that. I don't know about the style nor anything, but if they start giving them lame music, I'm going to be super annoyed. But well, from one side, I'm just glad that the girls have their work, that they're active, or that they're going to be active, that they're going to have their work, because this whole legal battle, like the, oh my god, the resources that they must have spent and lost, and everything in between. Um and also what I the potential of the girls, they have something that I don't think there will ever be another new jeans. The girls, it's like you can try to copy them, but the girls, is their impact, you can try to duplicate, but it's not the same. K-pop fans have a short memory as long as the song is beautiful. Yes, that's what I think, Spirit. That's my you know the they will not have that creative part again. They lost it. Even if there's some questionable things, etc. But to be a creative, it must not be easy. Like for you to create something that is really good, um especially if we had observed the things that they have done without her, um or other examples, is like, wow, it seems like you really needed them. You really needed someone like her. Yeah, having a vision is super important. Yes. And those are the kind of talents, attributes that you cannot steal. People that are like this, it's like they are born like this. Or yes, they went to school, yes, they have their degrees, yes, they have their experiences, but the vision of theirs, you cannot emulate that. It's just, it is what it is. um this is why sometimes, the creative people, they need their time, their space. You need to let them do what they want to do, because somehow in their mind they know why they want to try certain things that could be a bit risky, or unheard of. But creative people are like this. It's not that you are like, well, from 9 to 5, I decided I'm going to be creative today. No, it's complex. Well, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for today. For we did share a lot of moments, a lot of insights, and yes, I'm going to be back on Sunday for Leo season. I'm going to be reading for them. I'm going to start reading for some. I think that people liked about New Jeans most that they brought something different from current K-pop trends. Good and old-fashioned American teen poster, Britney Christina Aguilera vibes. Oh yes, my millennial heart was totally sold on them. One last question about finding it hard to stay positive. Should I be delusional? No, no, you shouldn't be delusional, but you should celebrate your small winnings. Like just be proud of yourself. Show off a bit more. Like, oh, like last week I didn't have this. Now I have this, or I have, finished this. So it's like congratulating. It's like give yourself a pat in the back. It's like I done well. I done well. Maybe being a bit, it's not delusional, but it's like, really confident, because I think that no one can pull you out of that, being stuck or repeating cycles if you don't stop yourself. So it's all about you commanding yourself and being like, from now on, we're going to do things differently, and not forcing yourself to change, just very rapidly. No, no, because you're going to traumatize yourself. No, it's more like a tiny step, and just believe that there's possibilities. You do have a lot of things to be celebrating, or you're going to achieve a certain triumph. You're going to achieve something important for you. So when that happens, show it, celebrate it. Like, no, I don't know, write a letter to yourself, thank yourself, like, thank God I'm no longer in that place, or thank God I'm no longer in that mindset. But be your biggest fan, and also be patient with yourself, because being in a Five of Pentacles mindset, it feels hopeless. It feels like, oh my God, like I don't have anything, like, oh my God, like I don't know where to start, I don't know. But I think that you do have a lot of things coming. Something is going to happen, definitely, that is going to force you to get out. Like stop feeling sorry for yourself. Like, look at what you have done. So be prepared. Be prepared, because maybe something is going to change that is going to give you the possibility to be more out there and be more surrounded by optimism. Maybe also, like, there's the guided meditations also. Maybe listening to some of them, very short ones, before you go to sleep. So it can deprogram, because there's something about you, yes, that is somehow programmed to think the worst, and maybe do a kind of exercise, or before you go to sleep, or when you are about to sleep, listen to some guided meditation, because you do have a lot of potential. There's good things coming for you. So be ready. Be ready to recognize them. When the good things start to happen, be ready to see it, and don't be like, oh, I wish I had other. No, just be grateful for what you're receiving. You're going to get out of this. Okay, I'm going to go. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you on Sunday, okay? Bye.